Hi YouTube, it's ACDodd here again, and join me for another episode of On the Road with ACDodd, and this time I've got another compilation show for you. Enjoy. Here we are down in Leon Solent. So we've got an honest little wolf in sheep's clothing. This is a little 998, which has been a little bit breathed on. So under the bonnet we've got a relatively standard 998, but we've got an SW5 cam and we've got a 12G295 head, single HIF 38 SU. This one's running the HS4 dash pot, and I've been called down today to give it a tune. So let's dig in and see what we find. Okay, so interesting one, this one. We've got a 3 ohm coil, which on the face of it is actually a little bit high resistance, because we're using the Power Spark Dizzy with a variable dwell. So although on this particular engine it doesn't seem to be causing an issue, I feel the engine probably would run better with a 1.5 ohm coil. So I've left it today because it's not causing a problem. We've got 4 spark plugs that I've changed, and the gap on them was much too big, so I've obviously re-gapped these to 25 thou. It's very common now, everybody's fitting spark plugs and not gapping them. Vacuum unit's fine on this one. Advanced curve was pretty good on this one as well. And then the carburetor was just set a little bit rich at idle, and the needle was too lean at part throttle. This was another classic engine whereby at part throttle it was popping a little bit of misfiring. So it's too lean all the way across the rev range, which meant it manifested itself as jerkiness when it was driving. Would have also used a little bit more fuel than it's supposed to as well. So adjusting the needle on this has brought this back into tune, which has obviously made the owner very happy. So in this particular case, I think the customer is going to send me some words about how the experience was for him. Okay, what have we here? Something very unusual. So I've got an Austin Ambassador. So this is a 2 litre HL, and this is the single carb version. Lovely original car, this one. Fantastic, look at that. Very good condition, and this is an auto. So under the bonnet, we've got that famous overhead cam engine. We've got a single HI44, which is all freshly rebuilt by Berlin Fuel System, so it's all in excellent condition. Got a brand new factory original distributor. I've been through this in my usual style, so we've got everything's correct. The only thing that wasn't quite correct was the dwell angle. The timing was correct, the timing curve's correct, everything's working. The only issue was we was extremely lean on the carburetor. So let me finish it off, and I'll come back to you and see what the result was. Okay, so we finished dialing this one in. We was having a lot of problems with the carburetor actually. This one was fitted with the economy lean out device, which connects this side of the carb, this side of the butterfly to the float chamber. On this one, no matter what I did, it didn't respond. So I richened it up and by changing the needle, and it was still way too lean. So I'm talking like 1.4 on the Lambda reader. So as I say, the carburetor wasn't playing the game. So what I did in the end is, on this one I had to disconnect it, block the holes up, and then start with a lean needle, and then make the needle to fuel all the way across. The good news is we've got this between 0.98 and 1.01 all the way across. So this one runs beautiful. What we're going to now do is the owner's going to go out and then see what he thinks. Just a bit more information on the needle I had to make for this one. I started off with a lean needle, and luckily enough, the leanest needle I had with BEJ was virtually perfect at part throttle. So all I had to do was to richen up the full power end of the needle, and we got a good result. Okay, so I'm down in Ilminster for this afternoon, and I've got this lovely little Mini 30. As usual, I'm already well into the tune-up on this one. Nice little car, and it's an auto, and I don't think there's many of these about, but this one's had a bit of a restoration. I'll say it's been 6 years it's been worked on. And we haven't got the 998 under the bonnet. We've actually got a nice 1275, but it's the 1275 auto. So in terms of what's up with it, I think let's go and speak to Andy, the owner, and see why he's called us down. All right, Andy, you don't mind me calling me Andy, do you?
No, absolutely not.
Excellent. All right. So obviously you called me out here today. So what's the issues with your lovely little Mini?
I had a huge flat spot. I was following a guy in a 998 and I was struggling to keep up with him. And I bought the engine unseen, and no ancillaries on it, so I've built the engine up basically, got it running, but I know it's not right. So I've called you in to hopefully get me running properly.
Yeah, I can. So I've already had a quick look under the bonnet, and I can see it's got all the right ingredients. So there's a HIF 44 fitted. It's got stage 1 kit. So with a 1275, it should at least move quite well once it's dialed in. So let's dig into it and see what we can find.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've had a good look into this one. As you can see, I've already got various bits of part carburetors off and carburetor tops off, needles out. We have on this one a Ducelia distributor. All right, so normally I don't like them, but in this particular case, as it's a Ducelia, I've got no other option but to work with this one. Now, the good thing about Ducelia ignitions is, or distributors I should say, is that they're actually, the advance curve is completely adjustable on the bench. So you don't need to do anything clever with these. You can adjust things on the fly, so to speak. So when I checked this one out, we had two issues, one of which is the advance curve was very slow. So because it's adjustable, I was able to make an adjustment on the fly on the bench and speed up the rate of advance. And secondly, the points gap was much too large, so I've reduced that down. The HT leads were they've gone a bit hard, and the resistance was up in the 7-8k range, so we've dropped that down to below 3 now with a new set of power spark leads. We've also treated it to a brand new set of spark plugs, which are now correctly gapped because the original ones weren't. And then we've now moved on to the carburetor. This engine was actually running quite well at idle, but after that it was under timed and under fueled. So we're now going to fix that fueling issue, being as we've already addressed the timing, to make this thing wake up and really run strong. Okay, so this one was running we can see that, a BBW needle. So normally people fit those in for stage 1, so it's a pretty good starting point for a stage 1 kit. However, this one is very lean, so it's going to need some modifications. I need to stress to people that it's no good just changing needles. You actually need to monitor what's coming out of the exhaust gas to actually work out what's what, because this needle in another engine, for example, with the same or similar spec, might be too rich. So I've had that scenario as well. So just because people suggest the right needle, you do actually need to measure and check. And in this case, this one's too lean, so we're going to adjust it. Back on the needle lathe again, and this BBW needle needed some considerable part throttle mods to make the fueling curve acceptable for the engine. In the end, this one ran really strong. I also needed to modify the piston damper because the drop rate was far too slow, so I converted it to the usual fast drop configuration. Okay, so we finished the tune-up, and Andy's been out for a test drive. Let's see what he thinks.
Huge smile on my face. It's a different car. It's there. It just wants to go. I put my boot down a couple of times and it kicked down and away she went. Whereas previously it took a while to get there. It did go, but it just took a while to get there. And it's chalk and cheese. I know it's a well-coined phrase, but it's chalk and cheese. That's a completely different car. Huge smile on my face. Can't thank you enough.
That's excellent. All right. So yeah, more power, no flat spots.
No, it's just there. As soon as you put your boot down, she wants to go.
Excellent. All right. Well, I was glad I was able to make such a positive difference, and obviously it's interesting as well because you know, your car's had a few issues, as we found out. One of which is that we're not actually getting full throttle as well. So that still needs to be sorted out, but that's to do with the kickdown linkage. So I'll leave that one with you, because that's going to take a little bit longer than I've got today. But the most important thing is, would you recommend this to anyone else?
Oh, absolutely. It's money well worth spent. I mean, what this guy doesn't know about mini engines, you could write that information on the back of a postage stamp, and there's still room for the Lord's Prayer. This guy is amazing.
All right. Okay. Excellent. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'm glad I was able to make such a positive difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so just a quick run through there of the latest cars I've been out to go and see. Hope you enjoyed that. As you can see, I also do cars which aren't A series. As long as I've got an SU on, I can tune them. So that Ambassador there was very, very poor performance and was in desperate need of a tune-up. So I was able to get that car from virtually a non-driver to something that ran very strong and drove very well. So just bear that in mind. If you've got cars out there that are aren't minis and they have SU carbs on, you're having trouble with getting them to run properly, then you know where to contact. So anyway, as ever, please like and subscribe and share, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.